Welcome to this special edition of Forward DFW in collaboration with the North Texas Food Bank as we preview the 24th annual Empty Bowls event presented by Kroger. Learn how you can help us end hunger. Now join us in the Dallas Morning News Test Kitchen. Hi everyone, thank you for joining us for Forward DFW together with the Dallas Morning News. I'm Ron Corning, and for the second year we are in the kitchen with the North Texas Food Bank. We're previewing their Empty Bowls event. This is the 24th year that chefs and restaurants from around DFW have come together to serve up their favorite meals and fill those empty bowls. Of course, the goal is to solve hunger in North Texas, and we'll talk about just how pervasive it is coming up. Let's take a look at last year's event. We filled the house at the headquarters of the North Texas Food Bank in Plano, but we want to break more records and sell more tickets. Remember, for every dollar spent, 3 meals can be served to the food insecure, and artisans contribute the empty bowls. You get your bowl at the event, you fill it up with bowl-friendly food, and of course, the idea is to raise awareness about hunger. Here's a list of the restaurants and chefs who are involved this year with the Empty Bowls event, and as we continue here today, we're going to let you know how you can get involved if you're a restaurant or a chef who also wants to pitch in and help solve hunger in North Texas. And this year's Celebrity Chef Chair is Dan Landsberg of Circle T Ranch. Come on in, Dan. Appreciate you being here.
It's my pleasure.
And being a part of this. I know you've been there on the floor of the North Texas Food Bank in Plano for Empty Bowls in the past. This is the first time you've stepped up to be the celebrity chair. What draws you to it? What inspires you to get involved in this way?
You know, as a chef, we are from a very young age taught that we feed people. This is what we do. We bring joy and pleasure to people, the people that we serve.
It's your love language. Food is love.
It is our love language, and the people we generally serve make the choice to come in. Like, I'm going to go here or I'm going to go there. They don't have to wonder or worry where the next meal is going to come from. They just decide and go eat. So when you think about the 640,000 in North Texas, the 13 counties that the North Texas Food Bank provides for, and a third of them being children. You know, it's kind of, for me as a chef, it's heartbreaking. I just, you know, I don't ever want someone to wonder and not know where that next meal is, where the parent tells the children, I don't know where the next meal is going to come from. So for me, it is, it's just something from the heart. I want to do as much as I can to help raise awareness, funds, help with hunger.
Yeah, and I appreciate it because we talk so much about the prosperity in North Texas and the companies that are moving here and how people are prospering. And those who prosper go and eat at nice restaurants, right? We have to be mindful that amid that prosperity, people do still struggle. There is a number of people who are working class poor and food insecure. And it could happen to anyone at any time. I think we've tried to impart that on folks over the years, and especially during the pandemic. You just don't know what can happen that can leave you needing a helping hand.
Absolutely. And, you know, that's why what the North Texas Food Bank does, and I think it's over 500 agencies that they work for that provide to the end users. It's amazing. You know, this is the 24th year. I think that the event itself has provided 7.2 million meals in those 24 years. It's amazing. And it's just chipping away at the bigger picture. So as much as we can do, we want to be able to.
Well, we said for every dollar, 3 meals can be served through the North Texas Food Bank. So when you buy a $100 ticket, that's 300 meals. That's really remarkable. And they're able to do that by the ways in which they collect food, donations from corporate sponsors and others. And we should say Empty Bowls, again, brought to us by our friends at Kroger. So we want to thank them too for being such an integral and important partner in all of this. Trish Cunningham has said before that she lives for the day when we don't need the Empty Bowls event, and we don't need the food pantry, but the reality is we do, and we need to monitor it. We need to know who's out there and who needs us, and this is all part of it. And we're hoping we can inspire some home cooks as well.
Absolutely.
To maybe take part in their own way with your chili from Circle T Ranch, so we're going to dig in and do that. We're going to put beer in ours. Do you ever make it with red wine? I'm the sous chef here, by the way.
I haven't made it with red wine, but I think that might be something
that would work,
try.
Right?
Okay, so
what am I doing here?
If we can grab the oil that's in that little cup there, and we'll want to put probably half of this in. So we've heated this up, and the goal is to have, you kind of see the oil dancing a little bit. When it starts to smoke, that's when we're going to brown our meat, and that'll be the first thing that we do in the recipe.
And this is that
This
beautiful meat that you...
This is a 75-25 blend of fat to meat. A little bit extra, because in the end we're going to make kind of a roux with some masa harina. So we want a little bit extra fat.
So a roux is kind of, I've known it with flour, right?
Flour.
Butter and flour.
Butter and flour, sure.
Gives you the basics of a sauce.
Absolutely.
Right?
So it'll be our thickening agent for this stew.
Now you've been in Dallas since 1995. A quick break in Vegas.
Yeah.
Only to realize you needed to come back.
I did, yes. Dallas is where I'm supposed to be.
You're one of those Californians who moved here. And
yeah, but before...
he didn't wreck anything, though.
No,
the other
no.
ones are wrecking things.
No, I came long before
I
it was the fad. Long before.
You were ahead of the trend. All right, so you're browning that up. And I find it interesting, you let that oil really get to almost a smoky point.
Yeah, so that you want to get that...
You don't want it to kind of all heat up together.
You don't want it to stew. You want to get some of that browning, that Maillard browning. That's going to add some flavor.
Now you also do something where you mix all of your spices together. Are we ready for that yet?
We are ready for that. I thought we'd use one of our empty bowls that will fill.
And again, there's the artisan bowl that you'll get at the event.
They're incredible. Each one is so individualistic and truly a work of art.
And take it from me, getting there last year, the earlier you get there, the more of a pick you have of your favorite empty bowl.
It's just a sea. It's really quite amazing.
But they're all fantastic. All right, so you want to add everything into this bowl?
Yep. So we have
what do we have here?
We have cumin. We have 3 different chili powders. One is a mild New Mexican chili. One is guajillo, and the other is an ancho chili. They all kind of give a different nuance. The ancho is going to give some real earthiness to it, and then
the garlic stays.
The garlic is going to stay off, right?
Just the dry spices.
Just the dry spices, obviously salt and
you
black pepper.
Always do this? Do you mix them up ahead of time?
I do when I'm making big batch recipes like this. You know, if I'm going to, even if like we're going to marinate or smoke some ribs, you know, you'll make that blend.
And why is that? It just kind of marries all of these flavors together, so you don't get like cumin in this bite and something in that bite.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I've been known to add a little ground espresso and cinnamon. How do you feel about that?
I think that's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like the espresso gives it a little, almost like chocolatey flavor. I don't know how to.
Yeah. So I often will add espresso to like the brisket rubs when I'm smoking,
or even a steak.
Yeah. Exactly.
I didn't know I was doing something good.
I don't know.
I saw that somewhere at some point, and I just do that.
All right, before you add that, we're going to pull this browned meat out.
So you don't put the garlic in at this point?
No. So what we're going to...
Because it's less fragrant if it cooks longer?
We're going to pull the meat out and saute all of our vegetables together.
In that fat.
In that fat. And then we'll add our meat back in, add our spices back in, and bloom those spices.
All right, well, this is Rendering. We're going to let you know how you can get tickets to the Empty Bowls event on February 29th. The 24th annual Empty Bowls event is Thursday, February 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. To order tickets, go to ntfb.org/empty bowls. All right, so we're back. We've removed the meat. What goes next? This goes next? No,
actually,
the vegetables go next.
Why don't we grab some vegetables? We have beets, parsnips, carrots.
I love that you're doing root vegetables.
Absolutely.
Especially
in wintertime, it just adds a nice depth to it. The beets will add a beautiful ruby color to it.
Well, and it also, leaning into the vegetarian side, now you've given an alternative texture, right?
Right.
In the absence of the meat, you've got all these other things.
A lot of people say, you know, beans, you know.
Please take note, there were no beans in this.
That's right.
That's not chili.
Chili, it does not have beans. You're right.
What do you call it with beans?
I call it stew.
You call it stew. And you like it, you just don't call it chili.
Right, exactly. A long time ago, I realized and learned from some very intense chili fanatics that were judges that we will disqualify every chili in this competition that has.
Oh, they take it very seriously. I did it some years back at the Bass Pro Shop, and grapevine, I think.
Before the spices, we want to grab the, if you don't mind, we can
I am
grab
all
the,
about getting those spices
the
in there.
garlic and add that garlic in, let it kind of bloom. Yep. Right inside.
So will you explain to me,
Perfect.
I can't seem to create a dish that's really fragrant with garlic like I get in a restaurant. What am I doing wrong? Am I not using enough? Am I putting it in too early?
Too early, and it's kind of cooking out. And
It's cooking out.
Becoming less assertive. So the later you put in, obviously you don't want to add so much that all you get is garlic.
Right.
There is a balance there, and there's also a fine line of now it tastes like raw garlic.
Well, plus I'm gathering if you put it in with the vegetables like this, the vegetables start to soak up some of the garlic oil. And
Yeah.
so the flavor gets through everything.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing wrong. See, I would have put it in with the meat. That's probably what I would have done.
It will lose
And
a lot
it
of
will
its
lose a lot of its
potency. Sure.
pungent nature. Okay.
All right, now we're ready for the spices.
Now we're ready. And all of these, that's the other thing. I don't think I use enough spice always, right?
It does seem like a lot, but once we add the meat back in, the tomatoes.
So I just pour this in, dump it in. And we should say this particular recipe serves how many?
8 to 10.
8 to 10? So depending, you can cut it in half.
Absolutely.
How much meat did we use? Was
We
it
use 2 pounds of
2
meat.
pounds,
So
yeah.
easily cut it in half. 1 pound of meat. The math works out really easily. So,
and prep time about 20 minutes to gather everything together, 30 to 40 minutes cook time.
correct.
But the longer a chili kind of simmers or cooks, does it help with depth of flavor?
It does. With every, I think every stew, soup, stock, sauce, if it has a chance to sit overnight, those flavors just kind of gel and meld, and yellow and blue end up making a more vibrant color of green, right?
I'm curious to know, when you travel and you stop off in towns big or small and you go into a new restaurant, maybe a hole-in-the-wall mom and pop place, are you oftentimes surprised at how great the food can be? Or are you?
No,
do you have situations where you go in and you can tell they're onto something, they just haven't quite fully perfected it, or they
Yeah,
they need help with the business side of it?
Yeah, whenever I go out, I think it's a blessing and a curse. I can't turn it off. Like, I'm always
Right.
analyzing and watching and seeing how they're doing things, what they're doing, and yeah, you can tell by the price and your portion size if they know the business side or if they're just really, really great cooks. And it is like we were talking earlier, left brain, right brain. It's
Yeah, you got the creative brain, you've got the business brain. You've managed in your
bring those-
career.
yeah.
Your success is defined by both.
I've been put in places with a lot of really smart people, and I know to listen. And that I always want to be the least smart person in the room, and just glean information from everybody. And I've had some really, really smart business owners that have
Do you
taken
ever
the
offer
time.
suggestions when you're in a restaurant? Do you say to the owner, "Hey, I loved this"?
I don't. I'll compliment. I don't necessarily. I might leave a business card and say, if you guys ever want to talk, I'd love to have a conversation about some of my experience. It was
And
really
does your
great.
phone ring?
It hasn't yet.
Really?
No.
If you have an opportunity and you're a new restaurant owner and you're struggling with any part of it, and Dan leaves his card, you
Please
need
call.
to call him back.
I would love to talk. I'm not one of those that will tell you everything you're supposed to do.
This smells terrific. by
Yeah,
the
so
way.
we've bloomed the spices. You can smell this coming out. It's time for tomatoes and beer, which is,
In that order? Does it matter?
in that order,
Would you
yeah.
ever simmer this in the beer first, or no? You always put the...
I like to put them in together. We're putting in all of our liquids together.
Now, is this a stewed tomato that you did yourself? Are we cutting a corner here?
So,
what's the best option,
okay,
I guess, is the question.
This is going to sound really crazy.
Okay.
I believe in, unless you're going to put up your own tomatoes in the height of summertime and catch that peak freshness, if you're going to make a stew like this, use a canned tomato, because they did do that. And there's ones that are better than others.
You like
This
canned
is,
tomatoes,
This is
the right brand.
This is Stanislaw brand. It's from Lodi, very close to Sacramento, where I grew up.
Mm-hmm.
And so, knowing what those farm fields look like, and having grown up tasting those tomatoes, I get that same flavor out of that.
And these tomatoes, you can get them right at Kroger. Imagine that. Okay. Do I dump them in?
Yep.
You know what? It's interesting you say that. I've had my New York Italian friends say the same thing.
Yeah. I mean,
And
it's
they take those canned tomatoes seriously. If it's one brand versus another, I mean, families are divided.
Yes, they are.
Over which canned tomato is the better one. But that's really good to know. I think for home cooks to know that that's a product that can really match what you get in a restaurant is really great.
Yeah, it's I know it's counterintuitive to hear a chef say, no, use the canned vegetable.
I'm glad you're telling the truth. All right.
Right.
You could have lied about that and said you were up all night stewing tomatoes.
Well, I'm excited for the summer because that is something that I do enjoy doing.
And you do a lot of seasonal stuff. Now the beer,
do.
how long do we let this cook?
We put it in now. We'll let it all cook
the whole thing
together. Yep.
One bottle?
6 bottles.
6 bottles?
But don't worry, the alcohol cooks out by the time we eat it.
Well, that's a shame.
Well, that's why you buy 12. You can have then the other 6 while you're...
Julia Child, you drink half of it while you're...
Right.
I was saying
she wonderful?
We're a little more Julia Child here than Martha Stewart. Martha went for perfection, and we're just going to roll with it. So really, all 6 bottles.
Yeah.
And you're using Shiner Bock.
I use Shiner Bock.
Is that because it's
Texas beer. When I first wrote the recipe, that I felt
it's a darker ale too, right?
Yeah.
A little richer? Or?
Yeah, it's a little richer. It's not quite, it doesn't have a bitterness.
Now, how long does it take for the alcohol to cook out?
So if, like on a wine, when you flambe it, once the flame is gone, the alcohol is gone. In this, we'll boil it for, we'll bring it up to a simmer, let it boil, 20, 30 minutes, and it'll all be gone.
Because I think people also have this impression that to make some of these stews and chilies, it has to slow cook or simmer all day.
I mean, it definitely could on a lower temperature.
But it's just as good if you just boil it, cook the alcohol off.
Cook the alcohol off, thicken it.
Well, I say even if you're not cooking for 8 or 10, make this batch, and then you've got it for the next couple days,
Absolutely.
and it gets better and better, right?
Absolutely, better and better.
The 24th annual Empty Bowls event is Thursday, February 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. To order tickets, go to ntfb.org/empty bowls. All right, so this is at a pretty brisk boil. You say 30 minutes or so?
Yeah, 30 minutes. You want to cook out the alcohol in the beer, get a little bit of reduction there so you have a more concentrated flavor. Let the chilies and the vegetables become friends and the beef. And then you can see around the outside some of that 25% fat from the meat grind has started to form around the outside. We're going to use that as the fat in our roux with the almond, not almond flour. It is.
That was
corn.
my suggestion when I asked you. You
talking.
can use as a thickener almond flour. It takes a little more, right?
Yeah, it does. So this is corn flour. It's basically cornmeal that's ground down as fine as a flour.
But it has to be the flour. If you get the cornmeal, you're going to get literally almost like a porridge almost.
Yeah, you'll get like almost like little balls.
Yeah, you don't want that.
As you're tasting. So we'll if you want to just sprinkle a little bit in, I'll stir.
I also find it interesting. You don't dissolve it first. You don't cook it down in butter. You can put it right in the chili, like this.
Yep, just like that.
And how much will I use?
So this recipe calls for a half cup. Which should be
4 tablespoons?
Yeah.
Oh, it's thickening pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't take much time, does it?
No, it doesn't. In similar fashion, when you're making tortilla soup, you take fried tortillas, chips, and you break them in and stir them, and that becomes your thickener. So when I was, kind of working this recipe out years ago, it was that mindset that I had with using the corn as a thickener.
Right.
But
or New England chowders, they use like crushed saltines or oyster crackers. Same thing. The flour in that acts as a thickener.
Exactly.
How we doing? We need more?
I think maybe 2 more spoons.
Now, how do you know this? You just know this? These are the things that are just second nature?
Yeah. It's
when you've made a career of cooking for people? I was asking you if there are any interesting new food products or food trends that are emerging, an ingredient people are cooking with more now than ever before, anything exotic?
Yeah, well, it's interesting to me to hear about fiddlehead ferns and
like fiddleheads are somehow more pervasive. That used to be, I thought, like a rural thing in New England.
Yeah, one year at the Beaux Arts Ball at the Donaldson Museum of Art, we served those as one of the vegetable components on the entree dish.
How'd that go over?
Well, it was 880 people. And the staff was not happy with me for cleaning all those fiddleheads.
Well, yeah, because they're basically it's the fern curled up
Yeah.
in the spring before they
are.
and you have to clean them because they're you pick them.
Yeah.
You forage for them almost.
They were beautiful on the plate. They were delicious, but I was not the most popular person that day.
Yeah, your kitchen staff would love that if you added that to the menu.
All right, I think we might be ready for a taste.
Nice.
Would you like to grab a spoon there? And
Sure. Okay.
It's going to be hot.
That's delicious. And anyone who would think to skim that fat off, don't do that.
No, don't use that.
That's what marries the thickener with the broth, right?
Absolutely. You can see it getting thicker and thicker.
But the flavor,
Yeah.
right, is just spot on.
So, and then from here, serve it with your favorite condiments. You could easily turn this into Frito pie.
The thicker it is. Now, if you just do vegetarian, add more of the vegetables, root vegetables.
Add more. I would say, if you're looking at the recipe online, which you can find at ntfb.org/Texas chili, double all the vegetables. Substitute your volume of beer for vegetable stock.
Okay.
You'll have a beautiful, beautiful
That's simple.
vegetarian stew.
That's simple. Because it's really in. I mean, the beer does give it a little depth, but the spices on their own merit are really great.
Yeah, they carry it.
Yeah.
They definitely carry it.
All right, we're really at a boil here, folks. Dan, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for what you're doing for North Texas Food Bank, and we want to encourage everyone to order tickets, be part of this year's event. What you'll expect to see are chefs like Dan, a real community of chefs who are coming together for a common cause that we can all participate in. It really is a great night of friendship, fellowship, but really of awareness and helping the North Texas Food Bank in their ever ongoing battle against hunger. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next time for Forward DFW. I'm Ron Corning. The 24th annual Empty Bowls event is Thursday, February 29th from 6 to 9 p.m. To order tickets, go to ntfb.org/empty bowls. You'll also find information on how to be a sponsor for next year's 25th event.